Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Anything More Where Anything Goes. My name is Miguel.
And I'm Brendan.
Today, we're covering Brendan's favorite movie of all time.
Star Wars!
Bad Boys, Ride or Die. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't want to go watch that fucking movie.
I forgot it was coming out.
Yeah.
I didn't care.
Apparently, the internet really likes it.
I'm done with Will Smith.
You know what the internet doesn't like?
What?
Star Wars The
Yes,
Acolyte.
they do.
What we're talking about today.
I'm fucked up.
You fucked up?
I'm not. I keep fucking up.
Brandon, you fucked up?
Yeah, I'm
It's
fucked
11:30 in the morning.
I had 2 coffees. I'm gone.
We're not going to look at the budget for The Acolyte because it's a TV streaming show on Disney+.
It doesn't fucking matter. It's too much.
Can you tell me what the Rotten Tomatoes is? I'm going to ask you for both. It's going to be the critical score and then the audience score.
The critical score, I'm going to give like a 75 to an 82. Around there.
Okay. And the audience?
The audience, I heard it got review bombed, so I'm going to go 13.
The critic is certified fresh at a 91.
Fuck you.
And the audience is a 31. Listen, okay.
I'd say it's in between those.
I was thinking about this in the shower the other day. I am someone that defends so much shit from so many different franchises,
Yes.
right? Since Disney bought Star Wars, I loved episode 7. I'm fine with 8. I hated 9.
Yes.
The Mandalorian, first 2 seasons, stellar. We don't talk about the third one. The Book of Boba Fett,
It was there.
that 1.5 episodes of The Mandalorian in the middle is really good. Everything
And the
else
first
is bad.
episode was really cool because you got the Patton
Yeah.
Oswalt intro that he did in the filibuster
Exactly,
of Parks
and
and Rec.
it's super good.
Which I found out that he talked to Kevin Feige, or
And
not
then,
Kevin
or
Feige.
Filoni.
Yeah, and they did it
one
shot
one.
for shot. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
Which is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Ahsoka,
It had its moments,
you had
but it was too long. It could have been a movie.
I thoroughly enjoyed Ahsoka, and as a movie, it would have worked better. But let me tell you, after this fucking show, I didn't hate it, but I am now totally on the goddamn it, why does Disney have Star Wars train?
Yes.
Because it's not even that the
Is it
show's
media?
not good.
It's the media about it, the interviews.
No.
No.
It's the fact that Disney just doesn't fucking understand what Star Wars is.
Which
just because you put people in the Jedi robes and you give them a lightsaber does not mean you get the vibe of
No.
what Star Wars is.
And George Lucas just said that recently.
he just came out.
He
Was
came
like-
out. He's like, they really don't get what the Force is, but at the same time, I sold it, so what are you going to do?
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Although I love all the reports that he's going to come back and
Please
be like,
do.
Please
How
do.
is Kathleen
You know what's
still
so
in
funny,
charge?
though? Is if he comes back and they're just like, oh yeah, George, you can. First of all, if he-
Retcon all of it.
No, no.
Disney, tear down the park that's centered around those movies, build a new one.
No, Galaxy's Edge is so cool. Don't do that.
I don't-
If he comes in, they're not going to just throw away the canon because it's Disney, and they're going to go, no, these made a lot of money, and we
Yes.
have merchandise. They're just going to go, you can do whatever. Yeah, go ahead.
Galaxy's Edge is really cool, but I
It is.
don't have a love for it because I don't have a connection to it. If they made it Tatooine instead, I think it would have been a lot
I would
cooler.
agree. It's cool in the sense that you go in there and you're like, oh, Star
Star
Wars.
Wars, but, like,
but
I'm
it's
like-
also, when we go, we're only in there for
Yeah.
maybe a half hour, or we go on one ride, it's like 45 minutes.
You go to Disney and you're supposed to be like, oh, look at that, look at that. That's from this,
Exactly,
is that. This,
exactly.
I go, there's the Millennium Falcon, and what the fuck is this?
The story so far to me is fine. It's just the vibe. It's another fucking show shot in the volume with a bunch of people where they're just throwing stuff in. They're saying, look at these robes, look at these characters. They have a lightsaber,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like Star Wars.
No.
It
They don't, it's too small.
yes.
And Disney has this, I don't know if it's just due to the volume and everything.
I think it's completely due to the volume.
Everything
it's
they do
all
just
these
feels so
middle
small.
center shots of 2 people talking, and there's
Yeah.
nothing else going
and
on.
there's nothing there. At the beginning, you have them in the Jedi Temple. You see one room.
Yes.
Only one room.
Yes.
Yoda's around. He's 700.
Yes,
they
he is.
confirmed that. No Yoda. Other green lady.
And I love that that's the only thing that they're waiting on.
Yeah.
Everybody's just like, I'm waiting for Yoda to show
Can
up.
you give me
His
something
little
I know?
Marvel cameo.
Which is just like, I don't necessarily need that because of whatever, but at the same
No.
time, like, it's Yoda. I don't know where he was as far as in the order.
You're
but
going to tell me that he's not going to show up and go,
Yeah, once-
and you're not going to go,
You know what would be funnier
Yeah.
than actually having him is they're walking in the hallways in the Jedi Temple
Yes.
and everything. And you don't see Yoda, but you hear him in the background having a conversation. You hear the and everyone's like, "Is that Yoda?" But you don't see him or anything.
no, it's a different green lady. What do you think of this show? We're not going to, so
We'll get into the
we
everything
will
extra.
get political.
Yes, not political.
Surface level,
We're gonna get violent.
do you want to talk story?
The show on its own, going in and expecting
Yes.
it, I want to tell you how I feel about that.
That's fine.
I don't hate it as much as other things I've watched recently for Star Wars,
Mm.
but we're only 2 episodes in. They're building a story and a dynamic that's cool.
Exactly.
Because you got the twins, which is the nice yin and yang, the light side and dark
I
side.
enjoyed that. Another dyad of the Force.
Dyad kind of thing. I hate that they're rehashing it so closely,
I hate
but I
that
like
they're
the fact
going,
that it's twins.
hey, look, we're doing this again. It's another dyad in the Force. Because we did it in 9,
Yep.
you guys have to deal with it. We did it already.
And what I don't like about it is
Everything else.
usually when you do it, you kind of have like someone who's like more along the lines of what the fuck's his name who plays Darth Maul? Sam Whitaker? Is that his name? No.
yeah, Whitaker's, he does the voice.
Okay, so he does that.
In my mind's eye.
Yeah. So when I think of someone who's like a light side and a dark side kind of thing, I expect someone who can probably do something like him, where like you shave his head, he's
Yes.
got scars, he looks like he's clearly the dark side, and the other one he's like, you
Exactly.
clean
It's a
him up.
fantastical world.
Yeah.
You have to make them look fantastically
you
evil.
put whatever. This, they're like, okay, we're gonna have the good one and the bad one. How do you
they-
tell when the one's the bad one? Well,
She has a big.
her dreads are a little bit longer,
She got a big.
and she's
scar.
got a scar on her face that's a tattoo that the hair also covers 90% of the time.
Except for when they need it to glow for plot.
Yeah, yes.
Then it shows up.
So it's just like, I'm like, if you're gonna do that, do something more with it, and that's what it seems like a lot of the show and a lot of their other shows.
Yeah.
They have all these really cool ideas, and then they just kind of like throw you a little bit of a bone, and then go, well, we'll explain it in another one, and we're gonna build on it. We're gonna no, give it to me now. Show me what the fuck this is.
How am I supposed to grow to love a character if you're going to be so ambiguous about what they are and what they're doing?
Flush this out.
Exactly.
And then I watched a fucking video on the breakdown of the show, and the Sith Lord in this, I'm gonna fucking stab Kathleen Kennedy.
Is it
There's-
another green mist?
No.
Damn.
There's two Sith Lords it could be based on the timeline. There's the appropriate Sith Lord, who's the one who trains Darth Plagueis, or because it's Star Wars and Kathleen Kennedy and like fucking with things, they think it's gonna be Darth Plagueis already, is the main villain in the timeline that we're currently in. And I know they're gonna fuck him up, but the person that you saw wasn't Darth Plagueis, it was Darth Plagueis' apprentice, which may or may not, depending on how old
But at
he
this
is,
point, the rule of two exists.
be Palpatine. So he's now looking for an apprentice himself to overthrow.
So hold on.
All
So
speculative-
just to
all
unpack what you
speculation.
just said, right? I would love for us to come back to this in like 7 weeks and be like,
Yes.
wow, we were totally fucking
Absolutely.
wrong. So you're telling me that the Sith Lord is the apprentice of Darth Plagueis because Darth Plagueis is going to show up because they know that they can get nostalgia pulls
Yes,
and things
and
that people
he's
already
trying-
know.
and he's trying to
the
overthrow
apprentice
Darth
that
Plagueis.
she is being trained by
Yes.
is Palpatine.
Possibly.
I hate
I don't
this.
know how old he is. It could be a completely different Sith altogether, but he's still under Darth Plagueis. But we know because Palpatine is his
know what's
apprentice
crazy?
that he will fail in this endeavor.
There was a lot of talk, especially like with Ahsoka coming around, because
Yeah.
you know in the Rebel show they go like into the world between worlds and
Yeah.
it's like time travel and shit. There was a lot of talk of like a possible Star Wars like time travel or multiverse kind of thing. And
Fuck.
I don't listen. I don't want any of that. But I could totally see the fucked up nature of Star Wars right now at Disney, of them being like, yeah, the MCU using the multiverse saga, let's just do something similar because people know what it is. Of them going on the last episode, the guy takes off the mask because he's dying and it's fucking like Darth Maul, and everyone's like, look, this is what you wanted, and we go,
no.
no.
I could see what they're doing, and I'm
God.
gonna kill someone.
What are they
I'm gonna
doing?
kill someone. So what they're doing is, you know that game that came out a while ago where you put them on a little stand, and no matter what it was all Disney properties. And like Back to
Skylanders.
the Future.
No, in Disney Infinity.
Yes. They want that as their movie franchises, so that way when you go to Disney World and everything like that, they're like, it's all intertwined. Look, it's all one and the same.
That's why
It's
Star
the
Wars is
same-
going to show up in Kingdom Hearts 4.
And that's why Star Wars and Marvel and everything is going to overlap. And
We're going to get Endgame. They're just going to call it Avengers Endgame Part 2, the Return of the Star Wars. And then they open the portals and Darth Vader comes through and he's just like,
you think it's too small. It's Disney, Battle of the Multiverses.
Elsa,
Fucking-
Doctor Strange.
Exactly. You're gonna have the Disney Princess Squad. You're gonna have the Star Wars Squad. You're gonna have whatever. Who are they all gonna fight? Bob. I don't know.
Thanos again.
Thanos again. All the Thanoses.
It's the multiverse of Thanos.
He knows the Force. He has a lightsaber. You know.
But that'd be so cool.
No, stop. You're the problem.
No, it would suck,
It's
right?
cool in a YouTube video, not a
yes,
movie.
exactly. In theory, stupid as shit. But you're gonna tell me if you went to the movies and out of nowhere it was just every Disney property coming through portals and it's just Thanos, and instead of him being like, "Oh, I have the stones," or something, he's like,
Fuck it up. Just combine everything. Give him the fat Thor long hair and Cap shield and have him go, I could do this all day. And you're like, what? None of this makes any sense.
"What's the canon saying?" And then it's just like, "No, it's Thanos from another universe, so infinite." And you go,
You got fucking Marty McFly sitting over there shaking, going, Doc, I don't like this.
"What's Thanos gonna do, Doc?" That's fucked up. Michael J. Fox is a
I
good
just
guy.
saw an interview with him and it got a lot worse, which is why it was on my mind. Yeah,
Aw,
it's
that's
sad.
why you. Okay, so let's
Just
talk.
because it's sad doesn't mean you can't make a joke.
Let's talk about the cast.
Yes, let's get back to what the show actually is, not our hypothetical universe.
Thanos beating up all of Disney properties. Carrie Ann Moss.
Tell me who they are and who
Carrie
the
Ann Moss
actor.
is the woman from The Matrix,
yeah, I
who is
don't-
part of all of the marketing and only shows up in the first scene.
They're
and
gonna
then
have
dies.
flashbacks over.
Of
People already
course.
picked it up, but I don't care for her.
Neither do I. I've never really enjoyed her.
No, she always seems a little bit too serious
Yeah.
and just kind of like one note. Just,
You know who I do like?
but I haven't seen her in everything, and I also really didn't watch The Matrix. So
No, neither did I.
Uh,
Got through the first one. The first one's really good.
okay,
Daphne Keane.
yes,
From Logan fame.
she's really good. in
She's
this.
so fucking good.
She's charismatic.
Yes.
She's funny.
She
She's
looks
actually
funny.
British.
Yeah, do you remember in Logan, the only thing she says is just screaming little girl Spanish?
Yeah.
She doesn't sound like
No,
that at all.
Like, I always assumed because of that movie she was Hispanic,
That's
but
what I
because she
thought.
speaks British, she may be British in, like, just regular Spanish? I don't know.
Well, unless she has orange eyeliner and spikes coming out of her head.
Yeah, so, you know.
Super fucking cool.
And white skin, like, powdered wig white.
And she got the paddle on little fucking ponytail.
Yeah, it's really weird character design.
Dude, speaking of that, the robes in the High Republic,
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Really
Like
clean.
the gold and white.
I hate them on the dude. I fucking hate him.
Okay, so you're just, we have to touch on the interview then, because you're just talking about that guy who
Well,
fucked
no,
up.
because I don't like him because he has the
Charlie
stupidity and
Barnett.
angst of Anakin without any of the coolness and just
Yes.
quirkiness, and I hate it.
Yes. I also hate his hair.
Yeah, it's really
I don't
bad.
know why.
People are making fun of it. They're like, they took
Good.
the fucking anime video game hair and just put it on everything,
did,
and now we're
yes.
getting a live action.
Do we have to talk about the interview of him passionately mixing up Anakin and Luke? Because
Twice.
so many people are angry about it, and like I don't give a shit. But I love that if you go again, I'm gonna talk about the
Yeah.
comments. If you go through the comments on Instagram
Yeah.
of like any of the clips, every single person is like,
Fucking
"How the
piece of
fuck you
shit.
don't know the difference
Exactly.
between them, man?" Like it's not that. I get it. It's not that serious.
It is, though, because he did it twice. If you did it the first time...
But did he do it twice and like double down?
Yeah, in different interviews. So that's what I'm saying. Even if he got that wrong, someone in Disney should have went, "Hey man, you fucked that up. Next time, just be like, oh yeah,
Of course, because I'm sure there's a whole debriefing of them being like, "Look, this is a very toxic fan
Yes.
base that's very torn. They're going to say these things."
No, fuck it, fuck all of that. Blame the fans. Fuck them. No, and it's just like, what are you doing? And,
Yes.
and the fact that he doubled down on it again, and his character is the most annoying one in the show. The guy from Squid Games, great. The girl
Great,
from
yes.
girl from Logan, great.
Yes.
Um,
Amanda Stenberg, who's the villain and the hero, not charismatic enough to be the lead.
not at all. No, but she's
As a villain, she's
the
kind of cool.
character's interesting enough,
Yeah.
but she's not doing a whole lot with it. So
No.
here's the problem again: it's the Disney problem.
Yes.
with their villains are all one dimensional or
Yes.
bullshit. So I'm waiting to see if they fill her out or if she's just gonna be this
Maybe she'll turn
whatever
into Green Mist
character.
again.
What are you talking about with the
From-
green mist?
from Ahsoka. Remember the guy in the armor, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I wonder what he
Oh,
is,"
yeah.
and then he dies. He's just green smoke.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Exactly.
That
I'm
was
hoping
really
that they do
dumb.
the same thing
We're just gonna
because
put it on a mask. Well, who does he look like? Don't worry about it. I got a plan.
he doesn't actually look like anybody. It's
No,
fine.
he's nothing. Force ghost.
Okay.
It was also really weird seeing someone die and not turn into a Force ghost because before that people knew about that.
Yes,
Really,
exactly, 'cause it
so
was-
they're just dead and they just flop and you're like, oh, I didn't like that.
That's so sad.
yeah, I didn't. That's weird.
Other little things I wanted to touch on.
Oh,
The-
that's a couple.
One of the things that people talk about a lot is how thick the lightsabers look because it's not effects done
Yeah.
after the fact. It's not green screen or anything. It is literal LEDs so that way they react in the environment.
Yeah.
But because of that, it makes the lightsabers just really fucking thick and chunky.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. I hate how slow they move, and I've said this about the sequel trilogy because it's the same shit.
Yeah.
I hate how slow they move. I hate the way they look. I hate the way that the lights reflect off people.
Okay,
Don't like it.
like all that, but it needs to be toned down a little bit.
Agreed.
What I don't like is the change of the fighting style that they were talking about in this. This is more of a defensive, like monk, like fighting defensive
Yes.
art, and the other one was based off of the martial arts that they used to help create fencing, and
Yeah.
it really shows because it's sword fighting, and now you're going into other martial arts
So
that don't involve swords, and you're like, oh, but this is a different kind of Jedi.
Yes.
Like, why would you get trained in something that doesn't involve your main weapon? Who's doing that? We're not going into the military, and today they're going.
And what's
Today
crazy, too-
we're going to weaponize boomerangs. No.
throw the boomerang, it has a bomb.
Here's a fucking gun. This is how you use it.
So there's, and what's so funny too, I hate this is also things I've
Yeah.
said before already.
Yeah.
I hate the changes in combat, right? Because you went from very little during the original trilogy. I get that.
Yes.
In the prequels, very fast.
This needs
whatever.
to be closer to that.
It
though.
does. And what's funny too is they're gonna go, oh no, it's a different time period, whatever. If you watch any fucking video of
Yes.
the canon Old Republic, every single person in the Old Republic
Doing
when the Jedi are in
backflips
their
and
prime,
shit.
backflips.
Yeah.
Like a double bladed and then a single bladed, and they're moving shit because they're
And
using the Force.
That's what the prequels
And
are.
in the
Here
High
is
Republic,
the tail
it's-
end of what you're seeing. These
Exactly.
people who
It's
train
the
these people
Jedi
in
at
the
their peak.
The other ones you could see, they're like you got taught by people who weren't necessarily trained their whole life. I could see how
There's an
different.
excuse in the originals and the sequel
And
trilogy.
Yes, but that
not
one-
now.
This should be the cleanest lightsaber
Exactly.
fighting you've ever fucking seen.
Why is it so fucking difficult? for
Because
them?
Kathleen is a dumbass.
How
I
has she been
fucking
in
hate-
charge for almost 10 years?
The only thing that is coming to mind is the song "Lifestyles of the Rich and the Famous," where you can.
Lifestyle.
Yes.
Another Richard
If
Face.
you ever get caught smoking crack, McDonald's wouldn't even want to take you back, but you could always just run for mayor of DC. Any other regular person in a day-to-day would get fired doing what she's doing, but for some reason, because she's so almighty and powerful, she's not allowed to get fired
No,
because
there's
she's
nobody to fire
Kathleen
her.
Kennedy.
Yes, because people know her name and It's also from a monetary standpoint. It's the sequels made money. People hate them,
Okay.
but they made money, and that's all that matters. You know that. Nothing in terms of what we think or as fans or whoever matters. If they go to the box office and episode 7 makes $2 billion, or if episode 8 goes and it makes $1.5 billion, and people go, oh, I hate this isn't Star Wars, but it still makes the money and they're in profit by over $1 billion.
But you could do that with anything. So why
You
not?
could.
Why not make it better? Like, we're giving
Because
you
they
feedback.
don't
You're just
give a shit.
No, and that's why it's so infuriating, because it's a blatant fuck
Yes.
you to the fans.
It is.
And what I hate now is that it's going on long enough to where there's fans now who are like, no, this is fine. This is Star Wars. And it's
Because
not.
we're used to the pain.
No, but I'm talking about, it's been around so long now that you have younger
You have
fans.
Star Wars fans that grew up
that
with.
grew up watching this,
Yeah.
and it's not just like, oh, it's not the Star Wars I grew up with.
It is the
cranky.
Star Wars that they know.
It's just no, but I'm saying for us, like not liking it, I'm like, no,
Yeah.
you're taking the fundamentals, and even the creator is saying you're not doing this. What this is, if you want to take this, make a space opera, do whatever, slap a Disney label on it, call it something else. It's
Agreed.
not Star Wars.
You could call it Rebel Moon Part 1: A Child of Fire.
It'll still be bad, but guess
Yes.
what? It's not Star Wars. I want to talk about something that I really didn't like in the show.
Is it going to be
No.
the political spot
No.
yet? Okay.
The dumb things that do not make sense that I don't want to hear a single fucking person in the comments go, it's fantasy, man, what aren't you getting? He's on the outside of the spaceship and a fucking fire burst into flames in the vacuum of space, and not just like a fireball or whatever, flames.
Yeah.
Like whipping in wind. What
Not
wind?
how science
Where is
works.
it? What's happening? Then she's just like, oh man, this ship is going down from not just orbit, but fucking space.
Yep.
This ship is coming down. Better just get in and put on my seatbelts. Crashes. They cut to the crash. This thing's coming in like this. They go to the crashing. It's coming in like a landing plane. And I'm like, that's not she's fucking dead, first of all. That ship is in pieces. It may have burned up
The
on
scientific
entry.
aspect here does not make sense.
So fucking bullshit. Then she straps herself in, and then when she wakes up, she's out of the chair,
Flown
on
somewhere
the
else.
floor, flung somewhere. She was wearing 4 seatbelts. All the belts broke in the chair, but not a scratch on you.
No,
not
perfectly fine.
one. And then I was like, oh, it was
Brendan,
in her
Brendan,
head. That makes
Brendan.
more sense. And then what happens? She stands up in the same spot again. I'm like, you guys.
Brendan, it's the
so-
Force.
No. No.
No! No!
No.
Bad ape! Oh no! That's gotta be a meme. Oh, it's the Force! Oh no!
It's so upsetting.
Bad ape.
I used the Force, but then I also couldn't grab the Force because, you know, I haven't been with the Jedi in a while, and
Yes.
I'll give them that. It was a little upsetting, but at the same time. So there was like, well, people complained that the girl in, what is it, Sven or whatever the fuck her name was in Ahsoka, the one with the purple hair, who's just
Purple
like,
hair girl.
yeah, we're fans.
I'll find her name.
And she's just like, oh yeah, I'm training now. Oh, I have the Force immediately, and everyone went, what the fuck is that? But then this one who was training with the
Sabine
Jedi,
Wren.
yes, Sabine.
Sen.
I was close. She's like, I was training with everyone, but I left 6 years ago, and I'm like, you still did it like for like a solid 5-6 years. You should be able to use the Force.
Even just a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like it goes away. It's like riding a bike and easier once you like remember how to.
Because it's literally all around you in the
Yes,
metachlorians
and
and
you know
things.
within you.
Just
and,
because you quit doesn't mean the metachlorians like
no,
die.
they go away. It's not a muscle. I mean, maybe a little bit.
It could be a little bit
It's
of a
little
muscle.
bit of a muscle.